Hippocratic oath. Run, goat. Run.
Why are you running?
Look at him stalking him.
Oh, I hated that.
Persistence wears down resistance.
What?
Thank you to HUEL for sponsoring this video. More on them in just a bit. What is up there, bloodsuckers? We're here to watch Interview with a Vampire, episode 6 today. We love the comments on this video. You guys have been so nice.
It's so true. You're
You
a
guys are
bunch of
so
mother
nice.
suckers.
Who needs a lot of views when you get a lot of positive comments? You know what I mean?
Our wallets, Greg.
No. I would rather go broke and get all the love. No, you guys have been super supportive. And who knows, maybe around season 3, it'll all pick up. But in the meantime, keep showing them comments, keep showing them likes, and we'll do our best to keep being honest and absorbing the show in the way you like us absorbing the show.
I read every single comment on there, Greg. And
Do you?
Yeah, every single one. And first of all, you guys point out things that I didn't notice, which is really cool. And second of all, you do it kindly, which is even cooler.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
They like us.
There's no spoilers in there?
No, I haven't come across any spoilers.
Okay.
Okay, good. That's what I've been told. It's like, don't really go into the comments because people are spoiling. I'm like, what kind of...
I haven't seen any of that, but sometimes they'll say things like, just you wait. But, like, I'm waiting. That's too much of a spoiler for you.
Yeah, I don't want something to look forward to.
You're a purist.
I'm a very pure guy. Anyway, guys, let's watch Interview 6. Like angels put in hell by God. What are we looking at?
Dirt?
That looks like a close-up on flesh.
Might have been. Yep, it was. I thought it was flowers.
Blind in one eye for 5 weeks, 2 months.
Oh, my God.
Damn, he healed slow.
And then I would land all over again.
2 months blind.
Pain was the proof I was still alive.
Makes you feel a little human.
She's staying with him.
Like Superman?
And Superman is a fictional character.
These are real.
He said it was more like floating, propelling in a direction by the decision. Called it the cloud gift.
Semantics.
Hey, Doc, did you know there's a flying vampire apocalypse coming your way?
Most vampires do not possess the cloud gift. Only the most ancient of us have it.
Huh.
You know he's a vampire, right?
I do not discuss my patients with anyone but the patients themselves.
Hippocratic oath.
That's the voice of Dr. Reid Ben Sally, personal physician to the Deputy Prime Minister.
And I am not here.
The vampire Louis de Pontelac.
The deputy prime minister.
Is your medicine taking?
Cold and itchy, thanks for asking.
Are you still dreaming about our first meeting, Daniel?
I keep waking up just before you ask me back to your shitty
I
apartment.
wonder if we'll ever see that.
Can you fly, Louis?
No.
So for 20 years, you lived with the vampire Lestat, and you didn't know he had the flying gift.
The cloud gift.
It's pretty much flying.
Why would he do that?
He thought if he exposed all his power to me, I would never feel his equal.
You only beat me the one time, officer. It's not his fault.
Are we the sum of our worst moments?
I hope not. Depends on how worse the worst is.
Yeah.
If we do not forgive others, ourselves?
Marriage. Yes, you read that book
A retrospect.
on how to forgive your husband for dropping you.
Lestat had disappeared after that awful night. Claudia and I were in no mood to receive his apologies. I made pride my blanket.
I guess it's always a concern he might be calling.
You ready?
This is humiliating.
Greg
Run
cares.
for your life, goat!
You care more about the goat.
You're
than
goddamn
you
right
do
I do.
Louis.
Have him eat a human or a, either one.
The comments don't understand when you make jokes like that.
Who said it was a joke, Roxy?
Better. I do like the trope of vampire stuff where the older the vampire, the more skill set they have. They did that on Vampire Diaries with the originals.
Or you could just tell me his name, write it on a scrap of paper.
You gonna be my knight in vengeful black?
I am a knight.
Dual meaning. As long as
Silly.
he's gone, oh my god, he's back.
I don't think it's him.
I brought something.
It
Oh,
is
no,
totally
it is
him.
him.
Who else has that here?
Extremely rare.
No one
Stop
here
it.
wishes to speak with you.
Perhaps we should let him decide if he wants to see me or not.
It's giving not.
Emily Dickinson is not a vampire.
How do you know? How do you know?
She got a grave, she got a tombstone.
So do you.
Tupac Shakur.
Vampire.
Vampire.
Confirmed.
Elvis Presley.
Vampire. Look at him stalking him. Obsession never stops.
You bought it
This
for
one's
him?
yours. Mine's back at home, in blue. Louis, I don't know what possessed me that night.
That night 3 years ago, he means.
Thank you for the audience.
I've changed.
How have you
Let me
changed?
prove it to you.
Yeah,
no.
what have you done? This is not a story.
Oh,
I'm nothing without both of you.
so you love her too now, huh? Or are you pretending?
If you want me to go away, just say so. I'll obey you.
This is hard because it's like abuser mentality. However, also I love them toxically. So I don't know what I want right now, Greg. I feel very conflicted.
You were never cruel.
He's not being cruel. He's thinking about his word choice. Oh. Oh! I hated that.
For 6 years in all, these raw and desperate mea culpas
It's like
came
he
the
wanted to
tide.
say yes,
And for
but
6 years, they were greeted with silence.
I mean, it's always different though when you're a vampire, you know? Like,
And Lestat's relentless determination began to crack my considerable armor.
persistence wears down resistance.
Perhaps it was the modesty of the gesture.
what's this gesture?
But in the spring of 1937, one broke through. He had written it himself in the music of the hour. His first composition in 100 years.
Oh, yeah, he had desperately wanted to hear
What a gesture.
the modesty of the gesture.
Rashid, please play the song in question for Mr. Malloy and the doctor.
Do you smell the blood
not
right now?
yet.
And are you okay?
I mean, it seems like he's learned a lot of restraint.
And when the musicians they hired proved unsatisfactory, he played all the instruments himself.
That's his voice.
You're listening to an inferior re-recording now.
It is.
The audacity of it all. He had made the near-perfect Valentine with one flaw.
Uh-oh.
It's got her voice on it.
Write me a song, put your lover's voice on it. What the is wrong with your head?
Yeah.
That's messed up.
Louis is soaking wet.
He knew it would provoke him.
Put some clothes on, get the out.
This is my house. Lestat.
Leave. You swam the Mississippi to find me.
I hate you.
As you should.
Another party, too.
I love you, Dr. Ben Solid.
Pleasure never meeting you, Mr. Malloy.
You took him back.
It's a bond that can never fully be severed. There are only two of you on the planet. Freedom and chastity wrapped in one person.
You know what you signed up for, lady.
Yeah.
Rule
The
number
two
four.
women left on the
Pure
outskirts.
Antoinette is my own private
Affair.
child, interfering in the romantic lives of her parent.
Oh, you can't just start playing that, man.
And your uncle.
I'm not your child anymore. That's rule number 5.
I am your maker.
But not my uncle. I'm your sister, or that's the door.
Rule number 6, no lies.
Oh,
If you can fly, tell us you can fly.
Yeah, I'd be pissed about that, too.
Go on. Ask your questions.
What else can you do?
he was so, like, submissive outside by the car.
Yeah.
Now he's like, you mother...
But that's
keep
how-
questioning me.
That's classic abuser.
Did you have anything to do with Paul's death?
No,
Oh, good.
I would never hurt your brother.
It's just something I always...
Never, Louis.
All these years, never asked.
Who made you?
His name was Magnus. He kept me for a week, locked in a room full of corpses.
Oh, my God.
No grand history of vampiric origins or physiology, no rules, no counsel. Just a sweeping hand to a pile of money and the sight of him throwing him into a fire. And then I was alone.
Throwing himself into a fire. Wow.
I can't drink hot blood. I can't feed on others. I cried.
So his maker
To God.
offed himself?
Yeah. I mean, that's according to him.
I didn't want this, but I have a capacity for enduring.
I bet that was an audition scene for him. That was so good. But
Years
Louis was
accumulated
affected.
in the small city were catching up to us. Our home was often vandalized.
We know what you are.
What is
Cowardly
that?
warnings suggesting we were no
Oh,
longer
voodoo doll?
welcome. Please return to the dark place you came from.
Oh, my God.
You don't have to ask permission.
Oh, of course I do. This is the new paradigm. Is it still 4 legs for Louis and 2 legs for Claudia?
I eat what I eat. She eats what she eats. We respect our differences.
Huh.
It's always made me feel loathsome, like I'm looked down upon for my body's needs.
Well, you don't actually need it.
That's how I feel about vegans.
Air of superiority when you say that.
Exactly.
Just saying you don't have to.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying.
And every night, these feelings arise. It breeds resentment. At the risk of paralyzing this household with more compromise, may I propose another rule?
Oh, you've had time to think about this.
When we hunt human.
Starting with him.
We are a vampire. We should not.
Do you think you could try a little harder to get on with him?
Have you asked him the same question?
He's trying. Teaching the piano.
He hasn't taught me to fly.
It's not something you can teach.
How do you know?
You're born with it or you're not.
Another one of his lies.
I wonder about that one. But I don't feel like he is lying anymore.
I feel like you could learn to fly.
It's his nature to lie.
Oh, I brought you a finger to eat.
No,
I
he
killed an
her.
alternate.
Yeah.
I remember. You like souvenirs?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I don't think he did that, though.
We should really think about repairing that
He
mountain.
didn't
No.
say out loud.
Enjoy living in a ruin, do you?
We leave the damage.
I hope he
so we
did.
never forget the damage.
We leave the damage so we never forget the damage. Bars.
If you could just give him an inch.
One sob story about his birth, and you're back to eating from his hands.
Emil, sincerity and humility. I cannot wear it any longer.
She's just stubborn.
Him having a middleman again.
I know, defend both of them.
We're all making compromises to make this right again. He ended it with the singer. What are you doing?
I'm enduring.
They were more like each other than they wanted to admit. They both sought out weakness. They reveled in the exploitation of it.
That's the thing. They're more alike than they realize.
Tell us about your first love, Nikki. Do you write songs for all your lovers? I think this one might be better than yours, Louis. Does that mean you loved Nikki more than you loved Louis?
Oh my God, you're.
I ask these questions because I'm trying to understand you better, Lestat. Did Nikki like your maker Magnus?
Uh-oh, the music cues are slowing down.
And warping.
Or did you kill him like you did Antoinette and how you tried to do with Louis?
Nicky passed on after he and I parted ways. Took me over a century to try again.
It's a long breakup. Ouchie.
I'm sorry for your losses, Lestat.
Oh, it's you who lost, Claudia. For the many hundredth time, I admire your steadfast pursuit of a game you clearly have no acumen for.
No.
I think I'll hunt alone tonight.
Master's had so much loss in his life, Lord couldn't ask him to bear anymore.
I'll come with you.
No.
Poor Master and his pain.
She's gonna isolate herself.
You're ugly when you act like that.
Better ugly than blind.
Ooh! The bars on her!
Nasty little creature who's fooled herself into thinking she's smarter than she is, and she is poisoning Louis against me.
She alive? She's alive.
I thought she's alive without a finger, maybe.
I have given her so many gifts, so many incalculable gifts, and you're right, it is both of them.
He's only playing
Is
authenticity.
she missing a finger, or is it somebody else's he took?
That's why I need you. You fortify me against them.
You make me laugh all the time.
I mean, he's having a full-blown affair.
We should go away to start. New York, Chicago, Los Angeles.
You want to be a movie star?
Well, now that I'm dead, I can be whoever I want.
Oh.
I've been working on a new name. Marie Lepere.
Don't be ridiculous. There's no place
So he
for
did
me other than
technically kill her.
You think she's a vampire?
She just said now that she's dead.
I thought she was just talking about the fact her identity's been killed.
Oh, maybe.
I seek refuge from complaints when I visit you, dear.
I know that, but promises.
Oh, yeah, let's see her eyes.
And promises will be kept.
Oh, so he promised to turn her.
Who's gonna hire a singer who don't sing? Who's a criminal?
Yeah, she's not. You're right.
Lost her finger.
It's what gloves are for.
Who's watching?
I know.
Claudia.
You shouldn't do this with the windows open.
Claudia for sure.
I love you, Lestat.
I love you too.
She showed him.
It wasn't shocking. It was perfectly
How
consistent
film
with his
noir.
nature. And brat that he was, didn't like being told what to do.
It's all what it is.
He wanted us to discover it.
But why?
Because he's all kinds of fucked up.
Yeah.
Because he would have killed her in a second if he thought I'd take him as he is. And I probably will.
So you ain't gonna tell him that you know about it?
What difference would it make?
Oh, Greg. This is very upsetting.
Elaborate.
I mean, it's just like the allegories of abuse, infidelity, but it's with the vampire lens, and he's lacking the ability to leave because where would he go?
Every night for
For who?
New
To who?
We could hide out in Harlem for a few, then hop on a boat, take us anywhere we want to go.
Wow, he's making
Ancient
love.
towns with more like us living in them.
Huh?
And they can't all be like him or him. We can get on that train, Louis.
Oh.
This life, it does a number on the head, on the soul. But every night I feel a little crazier.
I'll see you both at dawn.
Oh, man.
Give us 100 more years of this. I can see us just like him. I can see it, Claudia.
Well, I can't. Train's leaving in an hour. Get off that bench.
Oh my God.
Hey, sis, you don't need me. You're smarter now. You see trouble coming a mile away.
Aww. Some way she's stronger than him. It's the relationship he never got to have with his sister.
She doesn't have the burden of being in love with somebody. I mean, it's so hard to leave.
She deserved a nice seat and a wide window to watch the countryside blur before the glass.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't have a coffin.
The Negro vampire made do with what was left, which was fine with her.
I really do like her.
In the eyes of a 20-year-old, you were wasting the gift.
I'd give it to you now.
What, do you want it now?
Save it for the rent boy.
May I be excused?
Oh, he's jealous. He's
Yep.
Louis, Germany's invaded Poland. Tanks rolling through the countryside. But to think,
World
our
War
sister,
II.
impulsive tot that she is, was on her way to holiday in Europe.
He stopped her.
I'm so glad she decided the better of it.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll have to make it up to her stateside somehow.
Wait, what happened though? How did he stop her?
Oh, what? Is that Lestat?
Yeah, it must be.
Tickets, please. You're riding the New York Limited. Next stop, Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, Lestat, what have you done?
Claudia, you left without saying goodbye. I'm sure it was an oversight.
Give her the benefit of the doubt.
You'd think your creator had earned the courtesy.
You didn't want me. You made me for Louis.
And he needs you.
He picked you over me.
Louis couldn't pick an apple off a tree in his current state.
Oh no, I'm so scared right now.
Let me go, Lestat.
And Louis' hour of need. I'm afraid I can't allow that.
Burn her? Open the window or something?
Fortunate for our family, when I put my mind to it, I can hear the thoughts of other vampires.
There it is. I knew it. I fucking knew it. The whole time. I was, yeah.
He thinks of you often, Bruce.
Fucking bastard.
I couldn't agree more.
Oh, okay. So no, he
thought
heard the thoughts of
Bruce,
Bruce.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
What he did to you was in very poor taste.
But still nobody he's
If
turned.
something like that
Okay, so he didn't turn Bruce.
happened to you again, Louis would never forgive himself. Back in your cage, sweetheart.
Oh, dogs.
Back in your cage, sweetheart. That's what he's doing to her.
Because if you try this again, Claudia, I won't snap your leg, defile your pocket, and zoom off on a motorbike. I'll turn your bones to dust.
Oh, God.
Oh, he threatened her.
Oh, God.
Oh, the blood tears. Go back in your cage. Oh.
What a relief for an actor. They don't have to, like, actually cry, you know? Just get some little blood effects in there.
And bring to an end the invasion of Poland by Germany.
Oh, he's back in total control.
I think he killed Magnus. I think the vampire made him a slave. And he would be a slave no more than I would. And now he's gone and made us slaves to him.
We're not slaves. Maybe mindless accomplices.
No.
No, you're slaves. Yeah.
And I will free us both.
Claudia,
Is she gonna beat him?
At chess?
I don't like what you're feeling right now. You cannot kill.
I love you, Louis.
You love me? Then listen to me. I beg you.
It's very obvious you guys are talking.
I can kill him.
If she can beat him at this game.
And I want to tell you something else now. A secret of all secrets between you and me.
He sees it.
Oh.
The secret is, Louis, you want to kill him too. And you will enjoy doing it.
You've won.
I'm tired. I think I'm gonna go to bed.
Move your pawn, finish the game.
Good night, Lestat.
Can't stand to lose. Out.
Every battle that is fought does.
We were going to kill Lestat.
But
Rashida, you awake?
I can be.
I think the medication has overwhelmed our boy. Fetch a cover, would you? Let him be warm with his dreaming.
the past.
What's in the bag? Hello?
Look at that hair.
I'm a writer, a journalist mostly.
Get the boy whatever you want.
I'll have a grasshopper. Louis de Pointe de Lac. That's an interesting name. I do interviews mostly. You know, I could interview you.
Well, I'm no one of importance.
You see, I look for people in the crack.
Is it more than the crack?
As we were looking through the cracks.
I have what you're looking for. I have a room over on Deficedero, not too far a walk.
You and I?
I'm a vampire.
And I want to suck your...
I really want to interview you.
Of course. Is that okay with you? Would you like to join us?
No.
Oh, shit.
Have your fun.
Okay, so he did turn him because he looks the same age.
Can't trust your memories, though, can you?
He's just remembering. Wow.
He's
That was a
either
really
just
good episode.
remembering, or was it symbolic of the position that he was once in? He was once Rashid or whatever his name is.
I just think he just remembered who that was, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. My answer sounds deeper.
Let's go with that.
All right, let's go with that, rather than what's more likely to be the case.
That felt very penultimate.
That's true.
I feel like we're going for the layup. That was the assist. I'm really into this show.
I know, I can tell. I
Yeah.
like it. I like feeling your feelings. I feel you, Roxy.
I feel you.
I feel you, Roxy.
Really good.
I think I'm definitely the Lestat of this channel. Everyone wants to leave, but they're like, "Why do you stay?" I just can't. I can't leave Greg.
And I'm the Claudia. We're going to kill him.
Yeah, but I still get you wrapped around my finger.
Pulled me off the train.
That's good
She's
stuff.
afraid of him, yeah.
That was good stuff.
But like, why do I still like him? Even though that's the push and pull of the talk. Because if these weren't vampires, we would hate him, right?
Yeah,
We would hate him.
that's what I was trying to say earlier. Is that yes, it's all the symbolism of like toxic relationships and control
Yeah.
and narcissism and gaslighting, and then that little itch in the brain will go. But you know they're vampires.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
And
the rules are a little different, and you can let some of the abuse like kind of slide a little bit because it's like, yeah, you're vampires.
Yeah, like you didn't drop him knowing it could kill him. You knew it wouldn't kill him.
Exactly. Yeah, like shit like that.
Or like,
you
if you're
know?
gonna live 1,000 years, how long do you punish somebody for a mistake?
Yeah, when the
We're
emotion.
calling it a mistake. It's so bad. I'm
When you tr-
justifying.
When you try to play by like human psychology based off of a human life, but when you're a vampire
Right.
living a vampire life, you develop a different type of vampire psychology.
Right.
So perhaps like some of the things have to kind of bend in shape a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's always about like how does one feel? Like if you look at this triangle of characters, all three of them are like, I see the real you, and here's who you really are. Like they're all just trying to like convince each other of who you really are. And I loved the dovetail at the end when it came back to when he did take her off the train, and it's like Louis the one who's been caught between the two of them.
He feels helpless.
And but then Lestat, from his point of view, they're trapped because of Louis, you know? Like I love how it's like, oh, it's all kind of just a big
I
like,
know.
fucked up relationship between the three of them, you know?
I'm with you. I'm super duper with you. I also think the Antoinette character is very interesting too, and I'm kind of curious about what's going on there. And I like that we just got that flashback, and I want to see more of San Francisco and what happened, especially because it will lead to, you know what I like, the bedroom stuff.
The gay stuff.
Really, no, just like all the sexual stuff on the show with vampires, it just does it for me. Greg, shall we tell the people some stuff?
It must be so goofy to be an actor and do vampire stuff. Must feel like so silly.
I think you would feel awesome. It's good. Is that like your angry vampire, or is that like you're going in?
Because you gotta like work to show. You gotta make sure these teeth are showing right. You can't just
Yeah.
go like, like, it has to be like accentuated. You know what I mean?
That's not what I was thinking. Maybe tell the people, but I'm glad you did tell them about that.
Guys, girls, rejects, I cannot believe we are already a month into 2026. Now, last year I made this whole big goal about dropping a bunch of weight. It was a big lesson in discipline and pushing past the limiting belief in what I could achieve in my 30s. It was a lot of fun. But now this year, I want to enjoy a little bit more food and, of course, have a healthier relationship with food and my own body, as a matter of fact. It's more about maintenance and overcoming some mental body dysmorphia things that I deal with. And a big part of that has been choosing foods that are good for me while also choosing ones that taste good. And that's where something like HUEL has been a big part of that. As a matter of fact, I actually use HUEL a few times during the week during my cut, but I just haven't been able to let them go. Their black edition ready to drink is just so dang efficient and tasty. The chocolate peanut butter one is the talk of the town. If you watched our most recent live stream, we went on a random tangent talking about how this is so good. It wasn't a sponsored segment. We just had a chit chat about it. And speaking of chit chatting about it with Koi, I found this once, but this is true. I found this hidden behind a bunch of sparkling water. I was like, I need to shoot this for the ad, and I wasn't able to find it. I'm pretty sure Koi hid this because he's coming in tomorrow and he wanted to make sure no one else was able to take it while we're waiting for our reorder. I'm on to you, son of a bee. Anyway, it's a complete meal in a bottle, packed with 35 grams of protein, 27 essential vitamins and minerals, no artificial sweeteners, gluten-free, vegan, each bottle under $5, and it actually keeps me full. If I want something a little thicker, more customizable, you can also take their Black Edition powder. I got a whole bunch of flavors at home. I take one of these like 4 to 5 times a week. They're daily greens. Daily. I should take them 7 days a week. Anyway, it's not about perfection. It's about consistency. And they really help me keep consistent, especially when I'm too lazy to, pack food for here. Anyway, limited time offer. Get HUEL today with my exclusive offer of 15% off online with my code REJECTS at HUEL.com/rejects. New customers only. Thank you to HUEL for partnering and supporting our channel yet again. Hey, so you can get the full reaction watch along where you sync up with your own comment and shout this Instagram page of someone who's been sharing our videos.
Who today was like, I usually don't like.
Yeah, that guy.
I reposted it from us because it was great.
Oh,
He's
you
like,
did? Okay.
Yeah, he's like, I usually don't like when non-queer people talk about queer art, but these guys are okay.
Yeah, black gay comic geek. And,
Loved that.
And yeah, I think this is the kind of stuff of why he likes me going. It's like, this is the good content I like from him.
Hell yeah. I wanted to tell you guys.
You get shirts.
Tell your friends to tell a friend, like, comment, subscribe. We need to hit the masses, or at least tell the good people to come see us. Also, yeah, patreon.com/realrejects. Sync up with your own copy. It's where Greg and John cover stuff exclusively. Plus discounts on our sick merch, rejectnationshop.com, like this cool She-Ject original. You've got your Reject Things shirt on.
Yeah.
Doing the damn thing. Follow us on social media, at Real Rejects. We're blowing the fuck up.
You're so cool.
Am I?
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sick nasty. In general, because I know we're going to get to the patron questions, but in general, how do you feel like this episode stacks up to the rest of the season?
That's an interesting question. Do you have an answer?
Yeah, I felt like this was a really good building block episode. Like, we got to live in it for a second, but it's more, it builds us up to, okay, things feel like they're going to erupt. The Antoinette stuff feel like it's going to blow. Claudia wanting to kill Lestat feels like it's going to blow. Louis just being like completely defeated feels like there's something there. Even the stuff with Daniel, then getting that flashback, and like we know that Daniel's been bit. That feels like it's going to be a big deal. All season back and forth, the right-hand man of Louis, current day in the interviews. I thought that he was avoiding the light, so I thought he was a vampire. Then this episode, we thought that he was upset that he was willing to turn Daniel, so we thought that maybe he wasn't, but turns out he was back there. So it's all like tension building. This feels like a big volcano. I feel like the finale of season 1 is really going to hit us hard. So I think it compares well. However, it felt more of like a builder than a powerhouse.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's a part 1 to whatever the part 2 of the finale will ultimately result in, because the cliffhanger seems very specific. We're going to kill Lestat, and then opening up the 70s flashback as well. So it seems like there's usually maybe there will be. Usually there seems to be a significant time jump that occurs.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting the impression we will get a significant time jump for a lot, maybe later in the episode, but I feel like starting off we won't.
What's the length of the finale? I'm curious.
I imagine it'd be like an hour.
I feel like it's going to be an hour 20.
Yeah, the first episode was like an hour and a half, wasn't it?
And I feel like we've got a lot to do because we're dealing with both the future and the past. We're dealing more with the 70s than we've ever spent time. So now we've got 3 timelines
49
that we're
minutes.
working with. Oh, damn, I was wrong.
Well, yeah, I like I like this one a lot. I mean, I like this one a lot. I think this one embraced more of its film noir style, which is kind of cool when you're going into these 1930s element, where film noir as a film medium was really predominant, and to have that kind of be like reflective of that time, because he's doing a interview, but they really embraced the interview that Louis doing and made it sound more like an internal monologue, like you would of like the detective who's like in love with someone and going through. So it was an interesting way to like frame it and allow for this like strong passage of time. But I also loved how they would illustrate this mental chess game between Lestat and Claudia, where you see how actually they really are maker and prodigy in more ways than they realize.
Lestat and Claudia are more similar
than they would like to admit.
And I think than any of the other two characters.
Yeah.
Like I think Claudia thinks she's similar to Louis, but she's not. She's similar to Lestat.
No, it's like Louis provides a different side of the human heart for each of them.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And then he also provides this other side. And I know people like this in life where you feel like you kind of want to take care of them.
Yeah.
And Louis has that where you want to take care of him. That's what they both feel for this guy.
But they bring out the worst in each other. And also, like, I know what you're talking about with that wanting to take care of thing, but it is interesting that both of them were like, we feel bad about ourselves that you don't eat people. So Louis then starts doing that, which ultimately, like, we know where we're at today in as he's being interviewed, he's not killing people anymore.
No.
So clearly he felt like the worst version of himself for doing what he felt was right for the family.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the guy's also like so not healed from his actual human life and all the wounds he suffered there.
Yeah. Is anybody ever healed from the wounds of their parents?
Well, that's the cool thing about when we're talking about the psychology of these people is that all three of them are trying to contend with this new life of being a vampire, and Lestat consistently tries to separate, like, who you were as a human is not the same person anymore now that you were a vampire. But when you're hearing his story of this Magnus guy and everything, of how all that has carried over and is still shaping the way they choose to behave,
right,
even as much as they want to ignore it and be like, no, it's different now. And it's all shaping how they are. And
we don't even know how much of that's real. Like, as he's telling the Magnus story, and I was like, no, I believe him. I don't think he's lying anymore. Then we caught him red-handed with the Antoinette thing, and then it's like, when Claudia says, I think that maybe he killed Magnus, I was like, oh, yeah. We don't know. It's not like we got any flashbacks to that. He could have always been like, his human self could be exactly who his vampire self is.
No, it sounds like a curated story to me.
Yeah. Like I don't trust him, and yet he keeps convincing me to trust him for a second. It's just how abusers do it.
Yeah, gotta love an abuser.
That's what I'm saying, Greg.
Yeah, that's why I'm the Lestat of the channel. Power dynamics. You got to embrace it.
Shall we see what the people want to know on that note? Me? All right, thanks to the patrons for asking these awesome questions. Malik. Seeing Louis put in all that work and healing himself just to get back with Lestat was frustrating. It's like watching your friend get back together with their ex after you've told them multiple times not to do it. With tensions building, do you have any predictions for the next episode? Yeah, I feel like in one question, Malik just asked exactly what it was that we were talking about. Tensions building. Those are the things we want to see. And also it is frustrating, but like I wish I was more frustrated and less understanding. Just like them together.
I mean, Louis even more alone because
I know.
It's not like it's like people say stupid stuff all the time or encourage things that won't truly heal. Like, get over him. Go sleep with a bunch of other people or something like that. And Louis can't necessarily like do that. He can't just find a bond with somebody else.
He would have to kill somebody. And,
yeah.
And he doesn't even know if he can turn people at this point because remember he wanted to turn Claudia and he couldn't.
Well, he doesn't. It's like he would need to be. The thing is, like, Lestat is the only one who knows who he truly is. That's the reality that he has to contend with. And, so, like, I get it. I never once felt like. It's interesting to say frustrating because I weirdly never felt frustrated. I was like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. I completely get why this guy would do this.
But I do completely understand where you're coming from, Malik, because Greg, if this was your friend, wouldn't you be frustrated as hell?
Yes.
So like,
Yeah. But Louis doesn't have any friends outside of Claudia. That's why Claudia is frustrated.
yeah.
With tensions building, do we have any predictions? God, I feel like I have no predictions for anything anymore. I don't like getting caught up in predictions.
I do. It's everybody's biggest qualm with me on the channel. I love predicting things.
What
I
are your
love
predictions?
Guessing.
I get sold on my own predictions sometimes.
Well, I think what Claudia, because you're a writer, so you're like, this is what I would do. And then when they don't, you're like, my idea was better. This is, I think, going to be a big revealing episode of how much of Lestat's lying about his past. I do think, obviously, we're going to spend time in the 70s and we're going to see why Daniel was bit but survived. I don't know exactly why that would be, but I think that's what we'll focus on.
I mean, that sounds very reasonable predictions. It sounds like natural trajectory.
Yeah, I don't really have any crazy predictions.
Yeah.
I mean, perhaps Louis or Claudia kills Antoinette. I don't think until next season, but perhaps.
I don't know if Claudia makes it or not. Do you think Claudia makes it?
Through the season?
Yeah, do you think she lives?
I do. Mostly because I don't think she'd be on all the marketing.
That's true. I guess I haven't seen any marketing for season 2 or 3. So
Me
I don't
neither,
know.
but every time we look at the
Prime Video?
Yeah, the Prime Video thing, it's a picture of the three of them, right? So
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll find out. Becca. Loving the reactions. I've been watching The Boys and his wife's Becca. What's your interpretation
Yeah,
of
that's exactly what her voice sounds like.
his voice? I only know how to say the C word, and I can't say the C word on here. What's your interpretation of Daniel's dream? And who do you believe Rashid is to Louis?
I keep forgetting Rashid's name. I don't think it was a dream. I think it was a flashback.
I think Daniel wanted once what Rashid is. Like they were showing Rashid looking jealous. But Daniel also laid out how he wanted to be bit, but it seems like from what they were saying that Louis rejected him on turning him. And that's why as old people, he's like, no, I would give you the bite now. Even though Daniel's really changed, but I wonder if that was an indication that Daniel perhaps is tempted to still change.
I think that's a good call. Perhaps they have more of a history than we even realize. Like, maybe this isn't a one-night scenario in the past.
True.
S. That's what I've got for you, Becca. S says, his story has had quite big time jumps. How do you feel about them?
How do I feel about them?
I like time jumps. We're dealing with hundreds of years, so otherwise seasons would go on past when we're dead.
They haven't done any time jumps that have made me feel like I wish I saw what happened. Sometimes time jumps will have that effect of seems like it might have been more effective if we watched this play out versus time jumping. But none of the time jumps have left me with that feeling. Like when the episode started out, actually, no, this episode is a great example of it. When this episode started out and Louis healing, she's taking care of him, and they're like, Lestat left. My mind did jump to, oh, God, it's going to be one of those things where we don't see Lestat the entire episode.
I was thinking that too, and I was so happy when we did, and they were 6 years went by.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I was like, thank God we didn't waste our time with any of that bullshit.
Yeah, because it's the dynamic of the three of them that we care about.
Yeah, exactly. And it's we know he'll come back in the picture, so
Right.
let's not drag this out. And I really thought they were gonna do that, so I was so relieved when they did a 3-year time.
It's the same thing I felt when Claudia left for her episode, and it's I don't want her gone for the whole season. So I was glad when we kind of jump forward and get to the good stuff.
Dude, you and I,
Same page,
same channel. Care Bear, this episode is one of the best representations of narcissistic personality disorder, NPD. That's what you're looking at right here. On screen from Lestat's love-bombing gifts.
Yeah.
Here's a book. To his feigned vulnerability, Magnus' story, to his reaction when Claudia refuses to finish the chess game.
Yeah, that was crazy.
In NPD, when a partner disengages, it causes the narcissist to shift from grandiosity to abusive behaviors to regain control. That's why when you're in an argument, if you really want to set them off, leave, and they'll really get fucking furious. At this point, do you still see love in this family, or is there a more clinical lens to view this story? Oh, God. Do you see?
Everything you said is right, Care Bear. Like the love bombing, the gifts, all of that. Everything you said is right. I do see love in this family. I think hate and love are right next to each other. And yeah, I definitely think that Claudia has love for Louis. Louis has love for Claudia. Louis has love for Lestat. And Lestat, I don't know if we can call it love, what he has. He definitely has obsession. So.
Well, I think it's that great. You know, I think this question would imply that you have two choices: love in the family, or some type of clinical other thing that is not love.
Right.
And the reality is that they can actually intertwine. And I think this is an intertwining experience.
Yeah, it's not black and white. I'm with you on that. Jay Rushton, question: what you think of Magnus' training of Lestat change there? What do you think of Magnus?
Yeah, what's the story with Magnus again? Remind me of how what were the bullet points of that? You know the bullet points?
Yeah.
Forgetting the bullet points.
Magnus put Lestat in a room with a bunch of corpses and was leaving himself there. And according to Lestat, and he just kept coming in back and then finally turned him and then lit himself on fire.
That's what the story sounded like, right? That he said he like set him to a fire.
Yeah.
But then there was other parts.
And that's when Claudia was like, "Oh, did he off himself just like Magnus did?"
No, it's someone else, not.
What?
Because they were talking about somebody else.
Right. And Magnus and Claudia said, "What is he gonna off himself just like Magnus, your maker, did?"
Yeah. Who was the other guy they were talking about again? I don't remember who that was.
I don't remember either, but it's not relevant though.
Magnus' training of Lestat changed there.
I don't get the question.
I'm sorry, Jay. I don't
what
really
you
get
think
the
of
question.
Magnus' training of Lestat change there? Maybe he wants to know if we think it's real. Or is it a change from the book? We didn't read the book, so if that's a change from the book.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I felt like Lestat's just been on his own this whole time. And I think that's why Lestat yearns for connection so much. I didn't really take it as if Lestat had much of an ongoing relationship with Magnus.
I don't think that's what he's saying.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know what you're saying, Jay. Sorry. Let us know.
I'm sorry, Jay. It's a great spot to end this video. Hey, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Roxy's definitely in a weird mood right now. Not me.
Yes. I'm so sorry.
Good job.
I got you.
Thank you guys so much for being here.
I got you, Lestat.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I don't need to take accountability.
I'm on the train right now, and you just...
I'm doing my best here. I'm doing my
I
best
think you're doing
to satisfy
awesome,
everyone
dude.
here.
You're doing awesome.
John is our Louis. Or Tara. One of the two.
Did you see it earlier and you just didn't want to?
Did not.
All right.
I prefer not to get distracted by the peripherals.
Yeah.
I prefer to keep my eye on the
Unlike
prize.
me. Oh, okay. Suck a bunch of blood tonight, guys.
Peace.